and welcome to Byrna's Hot Take, where we discuss self-defense concepts, tactics, tips, and training so that when the time comes, you are prepared to defend. I am Josh, but you all know me. Today is our inaugural episode of Byrna's Hot Take. So we thought it would be great to have on Luan, the Chief Marketing and Revenue Officer for Byrna, so that we can kind of discuss a little bit about what Byrna's Hot Take's going to be, what you guys can expect, how we want to communicate with you better, and then go into a little bit of what we saw at SHOT Show. We're all still recovering from the chaos that is SHOT, if you've ever been, but now we want to talk about it while it's fresh, and we want to share what we actually released at SHOT Show directly with you guys, so that we can answer your questions later in the comments below about everything. I'm sure you're going to love it. Luan, you want to introduce yourself to Byrna Nation a little bit?
Hello, everyone in Byrna Nation. We are so grateful for your loyalty and belief in the platform that we're building here. My background, very hardcore gun enthusiast. I came into the gun world seeking the right appropriate tools to defend myself and my family, and was really taken down the gun rabbit hole when I lived in Oregon. And shout out to all my friends in Central Oregon for really educating me on the fine art of firearms. And it really allowed me to understand the consumer mindset, the mindset of a gun owner, and the mindset of one that never owned a gun. So I was in both positions. And those perspectives allowed me to really understand what everyone else is going through and what's going through their minds as they make this critical decision to what we call, like to say, being prepared to defend. And glad to be here, glad to help you fly the Byrna flag, and tell folks out there that we are a brand that consists of many firearms enthusiasts, practitioners, and experts, but we also believe in the common sense aspect of gun ownership and applying the right amount of force at the right time.
Yeah, that's that you really summed it up well there. To give everybody some geographical reference, Luan is actually based out in Las Vegas in our brand new retail experience center. If you listen closely, you can actually hear the shooting behind him. So in that experience center, there's a couple ranges in the back where anybody can come in and try out what they want to try out before they buy, after they buy, way after they buy, bring a friend in. That's kind of the whole point behind it. So. And I, of course, am located in Texas. So if you are going by Vegas, stop by. It's an awesome place to really kind of just get a better understanding of what the less lethal products can do and those launchers can do, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, you've got guys and girls coming in and out of that door all day, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, last night when we were closing up, we had 3 veterans come up from Southern California on their Harleys, just on a ride, and they're like, "Hey, let's stop by the Byrna store and see what they got." And next thing I looked up, it's 7:30. I'm late for dinner. My wife's texting me. It's like, "Where the heck are you?" But it's just so humbling to talk to our customers and get their take. One of the gentlemen was a former federal law enforcement agent, and they totally believe in what Byrna delivers to the table. And so, if you get an opportunity to travel to Las Vegas, stop by, say hello. You're guaranteed a warm welcome. And also, you get some insights on new products that we're developing, because the Las Vegas office is also the HQ for sales and marketing. And that's where all the cool stuff gets delivered to, and where all the cool kids hang out.
Yeah, I got to get out there more to be cooler like you, Luan. So.
Oh, you're part of the cool kids club.
Yeah, I
Josh.
do what I can. So Luan and I, talked, several months ago about increasing communication with, Byrna Nation. We obviously, if you're here, you probably know that we put out a lot of content, via video and photos and testimonials. A lot of it on social media, a lot of it on our YouTube channel, a lot of it on our website, and a lot of, most of that is just a goal to communicate more with Byrna Nation. And so, we're always trying to say, hey, how can we increase that communication level, especially the two-way communication? And A lot of the stuff we do is in short format because that's just what kind of works right now and what's very easily digestible. But there's still, there's a lot left to be said, so to speak. With that short format, and so we said, hey, let's do something to elaborate on a lot of what we're doing, and Luan was like, what about a podcast? And I was like, man, that sounds like a great idea. So here we are, and that was really kind of the the idea behind the podcast. I mean, would you do you care to elaborate on that, Luan?
Sure. I mean, I think we certainly, drink the Kool-Aid here and get to meet so many different people, but I think the vision for the podcast was to open up, the aperture a bit, invite people in, and whether you think we're crazy or you think we're hitting the mark, like no holds barred. Let's just have a conversation to better understand your position and let us explain ours. There's no right or wrong answer. I think there's just belief systems. We certainly have what we think is the appropriate approach, but that leaves it for hard debate, and we're not afraid to go one on one with our harshest critics because it's all about truth and authenticity in our brand. I'm the first person to say, like, there's no solution that is the perfect solution. It's how you use these solutions and when you use these solutions is important. So that's what we're trying to cover here is, from all walks of life, whatever your situation is, whatever your POV is, bring it here and let's just have a hot mic discussion and get a hot take on the different concerns that anyone will have. And then sometimes it's not about self-defense. Sometimes it's about legislation, and sometimes it's about where is this all going, and where does Byrna live in the ecosystem of self-defense. So that was the goal, is just to bring people in, have a conversation, because we talk with ourselves a lot, but we also want to hear what other people are thinking. You guys can help us shape what do we develop down the line. And for those that follow us on social, we read and watch each one of your posts. So we love it. It's not just the good, also the bad. And but we want to be here and grow with you and take this journey together, because without Byrna Nation, there is no Byrna.
Yeah, we definitely are going to have a very diversified style of show for you guys. Everything from special guests coming on to share their stories, like Luan said. We get so many great stories about how Byrna has fit into so many different lifestyles, from on a professional sense to a personal sense to how they protect their family to how they protect their business. So, and a lot of those are great, and we feel like a lot of those, that there's a lot of you out there that could benefit, from some of those different perspectives and POVs, like Luan was talking about. So there'll be some special guests. We're going to be doing some product releases. You're going to see some live AMAs, some Ask Me Anything. Like I said, we want to increase that communication. So, look out for some of those to where we can actually interact in real time. And then some incident reviews as well, looking at some of the, kind of the more recent and more, forefront incidents that happen throughout the nation when it comes to force and use of force, and really kind of breaking those down. Because a lot of people have questions about, hey, was this appropriate? Was this not appropriate? Is there a better way to do it? So we have a lot of assets and experts at our fingertips to lean on to say, hey, look, is there a better way to do this? Can we learn from this? And really kind of push that out to Byrna Nation. So, expect to see a lot of different formats here, with the overall goal, like Luan said, of just increasing that communication and sharing those perspectives and airing it all out and being very authentic about the discussion about self-defense, about force, about law. So that's kind of what you'd expect to see.
Yeah, and some of the things that we'll do is probably maybe it could be a business conversation, because any one of you out there are entrepreneurs or thinking about launching your own business or your own brand. Like, we're doing it right now. We're building a brand, and we like to say here at Byrna, like, we're building the plane while it's taking off. That's not to you, Josh, for being a pilot. But it's reality. We can have these conversations, and we get a lot of, like, why did they make that brand? That's the dumbest ad I've ever heard. But if we would kind of peel back the onion and we tell you about our strategy and why we did it and the results behind that from a revenue perspective, it just makes a lot more sense. So, and then we'll take the lumps too. Like if you think, hey, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen any marketing guy do, bring it. Happy to have that discussion. And we're looking to learn, we're looking to grow, and there's no better people to hear it from than our loyal customers or people that are just kind of on the fence, like it's Byrna for me. And hopefully after these really engaging discussions, you come to your own conclusion. But at least you'll know where we stand and why we're here. And I think that should be for interesting dialogue from all standpoints. And you know, maybe we can have these special topics. Or this week, it's about how we're building a brand. What are we looking at, and when we try to scale our business. So it'll be a lot of interesting things beyond just what you think it's about and self defense and all that. It's kind of like
Almost like a Byrna
how can I
BTS,
talk?
right? Like behind the
Like a
scenes.
potluck, like a potluck of discussions.
Yeah, you give
But
you
no
give
holds barred.
you give Luan a cigar and you'll get a master class in marketing. So he'll sit there and. So let's move on to SHOT Show. So for those of you who don't know, SHOT Show is the shooting, hunting, outdoor trade show. It is the largest gathering of firearms manufacturers, retailers, wholesalers, outdoor industry. Everything that has to do with hunting and shooting. It's the largest gathering in the world, and it's done in Vegas every year in January. It's been around for. I think this was the 45th SHOT Show. So it's been around for a long, long time, and it is a giant ordeal. Just some quick stats. We saw about this year. They're estimating about 64,000. I think is the number that I saw on there. 64,000 attendees come through that are all industry attendees. 2,400 retailers. If you've never been or seen, the footprint covers 2 floors of the Venetian Expo, along with an entire floor of the Caesars Forum. So it's 800,000 square feet, which is about 18 acres and about 14 football fields, which comes out to about 14 miles of aisleway if you were trying to traverse the whole thing and see everybody. There was a really cool stat that they put out that if you were to go, and so it's 4 days. The expo is 4 days long. And if you wanted to see every booth, you would be able to spend 1 minute and I think it was 17 seconds at each booth. And it would take you 4 days, but you could see every booth there for 1 minute. So basically, it's just it's a massive expo, and we're definitely still recovering from it. But Byrna, we had a great time. It was a great gathering. We got to meet with a lot of great folks. What was your just kind of initial impression, kind of looking back on it after this weekend? Just kind of the initial impression of SHOT this year.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the industry's Super Bowl moment,
Yeah.
right? And we were on the biggest stage, and this year Byrna really wanted to make an impression. We doubled the size of our booth, but it's really about the products and the innovations that we're bringing to the table. And I'm gonna pick this up because I'm looking right at it. Is our 12 gauge shotgun round was the belle of the ball, as they say. This product on range day, those who were here would know that the weather was not cooperating. High winds, rain, and we were introducing brand new ammo, and we were
Not the time to
concerned
be
that,
introducing brand new
yeah,
ammo,
right,
but
right. Can they hit the target? And so it was so awesome to see the our tents filled with folks very curious in what we were introducing, and just hearing the ding 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 all day long that these guys were hitting targets and smiles, and the fact how revolutionary this round is blew people away. And so much so that the Police One Media Network anointed Byrna as one of the 4 brands that impressed on range day, and we were so humbled by that call out. But what we're doing in this 12 gauge less lethal ammunition realm is game changing. I mean, as a guy with a shotgun for home defense, I am not going to be or going to have any trigger hesitancy when the boogeyman are in my house, and I'm going to send these rounds down hallway without the concern of potentially taking an innocent life, or not being able to pull that trigger. So very excited about this product.
Yeah, it was definitely clear that the applications for that were coming from everybody, from everything from our dealers there that deal directly with consumers and themselves wanting to understand more about the round as a consumer to carry it in their home or with them, and then law enforcement, military, obviously distributors, all that. I mean, there was just interest from everywhere. It was definitely like you said, it was definitely a featured product.
What was interesting too, though, is like when just to observe the reaction of the people who shot the rounds, and they're bracing for the recoil. They're like, they look at you as like, did I shoot it? Because it sounds like you're shooting, a shotgun with a suppressor when we were shooting the Mossberg 590s, and people are just blown away, and they hear boom. And then we show them the picture of the carnage that it does to the human flesh from a great distance, and people were just blown away. And I think that alone really solidified. Like, I think we have a winner here, and subsequent booth time and the interest around the 12 gauge alone was actually very overwhelming.
No, you're absolutely right. It was definitely more than we expected, and we expected a lot. So.
I think what the thing is like, we were looking at it from, okay, we'll get a lot of domestic interest, but there was a huge amount of international interest as well. We had every country from South America stopping by our booth and wanting samples or more information, or just plain ordering. So it's exciting to see.
No, you're absolutely right. So before we get into the other things that we released at SHOT, I'm going to take you guys over, and you guys are going to hear directly from me, giving you a really kind of down and deep dive breakdown into the new launchers that were released at SHOT, and a little bit about the 12 gauge as well, so you guys have an understanding. If you haven't seen them yet, you'll have an understanding of what we're talking about, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some more of the features. So we're out here at the 2023 SHOT Show in Las Vegas. It's been a great show so far, but I wanted to take a few minutes to run you guys through the new products that we have coming out here at the show. So let's talk about our handheld launchers. You guys are all very familiar with the Byrna SD. It's been our flagship launcher for the last couple years and has done absolutely amazingly. We've sold over 275,000 launchers into the US marketplace, with this being the favorite overall. The two biggest gripes that we have about the SD, though, are, hey, it's too expensive, and I'd like it to have more power. So this last year, we developed two new handheld launchers that really target those concerns. The first one is our Byrna EP. The Byrna EP uses the same form factor of the SD, but is stripped down a little bit so that it can be more affordable. You can see that there is no external safety here, and the EP kits will only be coming with a single magazine, but we're able to get the price under $300, which is MSRP and normal, and will probably go on sale from here and there depending on the dealer that you're looking for. So well under 300 bucks sometimes to be able to find the EP. So if you're really just wanting to get started in that less lethal space, but really want to try to spend just the only amount of money that you absolutely need to spend to do it, the EP is for you. The great thing is it's everything you love about the SD. It still has the same capacity, it still has the same capability, still has the same range, still uses the same 8-gram CO2 cartridge, same rounds, same 8 inches of accuracy at 20 yards, all of that, but in a package it's a little bit more affordable, easier to get into, and maybe you don't even like to have an external safety. I mean, I'm a Glock guy, I've shot Glocks for a long time, so I'm not used to using an external safety. If that's you, then this may be the actual option that you want to go with, so you don't have to worry about doing that anything before you pull the trigger. It's just going to work for you as soon as you pull the trigger. So that's the EP, guys, coming in at $299. Everything you loved about the SD, just a slimline package. So for those of you looking for more power than what you had in the SD, we have the Byrna LE, complete redesign of the internals, the valve assembly, and the interface with the trigger, which makes this trigger even better than the SD. Super smooth, no stack up, no big break, just nice and smooth from beginning to end. But the new valve assembly allows for a lot more power. So out of the SD and the EP, you're looking at an average of 270, 275, or the first, mag or two mags. But out of the LE, we're at over 345 feet per second on average, giving it way more power. You're actually feeling the power when you shoot this one. Definitely feels a lot different than the SD and the EP. You're also getting the white fiber sights here, which allow a lot faster target acquisition, a lot more consistent target acquisition with this sighting system as well. LE comes with 2 7-round mags, so you really have that increased capacity and capability, more power, better trigger, really just leveled up the launcher from beginning to end. Okay, so what you guys have seen is basically you saw our booth there at SHOT Show, kind of broke it down for you on the new launchers and the 12 gauge. So EP and LE. Luan, I think you guys explained it very well. You said it at the grand opening night about what kind of drove the innovation of the EP and LE. Two things that people wanted. So.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, we had our flagship SD, which really was the main driver of our platform. But, just from listening to our customers and what they wanted, we on the EP side, we wanted to provide a launcher that delivered the same performance as the SD, but at a much easier price point to get into the Byrna platform. So we introduced the EP. The only difference is that it doesn't have a fire safe toggle switch, and is introduced at a very good price of $299.99. And so for those that are looking looking at the Byrna, and if the 379 price point, which used to be 399, as you know, Josh, for the SD, this is a little more budget friendly, but delivers the impact and stopping power that you're looking for. I think the only difference in the EP and the SD is the ability to pre-puncture. Those that are in the know with the SD, you can guarantee the first round shot from a fresh canister to be extremely hot by pulling the trigger while in safe mode, then quickly switching it to fire to launch that first round. But for $80 more, you get the flagship of the SD, and so we wanted to have the good, better, best type platform. So EP is good, better is the SD, and then best is the LE. And since you're a former law enforcement sniper and one guy I would not want to get mad from 1,000 yards away, why don't you explain the LE, Josh?
Yeah, so the biggest part about the LE that people may not understand, because it looks a lot like the SD. It's a little bit longer. It's got that extender on it because it takes the 12-gram CO2. But LE is completely redesigned internals, ground up redesign when it comes to the internals, the valve assembly, how the valve interface with the trigger, and then the whole trigger assembly. So the trigger feels completely different. It is way smoother than everything else. And then of course the new valve and valve assembly allow that so much more speed, so much more power coming out of. So, over the first 10 or so rounds in the SD, you're looking at 260 to 270 feet per second on average. Starts high and it gets a little bit lower as that CO2 comes out. But with the LE, that first 10 round average is over 345. So it really makes us, out of the factory, it makes it our most powerful launcher out of the factory, period, plain and simple. Whether that's handgun, or handheld or shoulder-fired launchers alike. So that's what excites me the most is that power, and you feel it when you shoot it. You feel it when you shoot it. You hear it when you shoot it. You shoot them side by side, and the power is obvious.
Yeah. I mean, by the numbers, it's 60% more powerful than the SD, 40% greater shot capacity, and it's 33% increase in effective range. And so the only reason why I know that because I'm a marketing guy and I'm paid to do so. But there you have it. Those
He
are the
just loves
key
it that
specs.
much. So,
Yeah, those are the key specs. But I think one of the things that we did introduce with the LE is the sights, the new
that's right.
improved sights that make the target acquisition that much better. So overall, it looks like it has the same body style as the SDXL, the very popular SDXL, which we are sunsetting, and
That's
it
right.
was an opportunity for us to innovate and elevate really. So I think everybody will be super excited about the LE. It is going to have a higher sticker price because it is the best launcher that we are offering, this year. So it's going to come in at 479.99, but
Get what you pay
for
for.
a little more, you're getting so
Way
much
more.
more than the SD.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see how the LE is going to do and how everybody likes it, because I think it's like they said, I think that the EP and the LE answer kind of those two biggest comments that we see as far as, man, I wish it had more power, man, I wish it was a little less
Right.
expensive. So we've really tried to cater to those those comments.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
And
to see
also
what Burner Nation thinks.
the LE comes with two 7-round magazines, not one, but two. So overall, it is going to be the new flagship. For those of you that already have the SD and we're trying to figure out how you would clock it up, no need. Just add this to your arsenal. I don't know about you guys, but I've been taught to have weapons all over my house, so that I can have easy access in case I need it anywhere within my little castle. And that's how I've been trained. Thanks again to my military friends in Oregon. Shout out to those guys.
So all in all, SHOT Show definitely a success for us, and we'll be sharing more of that with you guys in the coming days and weeks, so that you can kind of see a little bit of our experience there. But anything else, Luan, you'd like to add?
No, other than we fully are so excited about what's to come with Byrna. There is a reason why we're called Byrna Technologies, and the innovations that we brought this year literally push the limits of the technology that's available today for us to really bring these ground breaking, game changing products to the consumer. And we can't thank our Byrna Nation enough, because without your support, we wouldn't have the ability to invest in R&D and really deliver products that are going to perform when you need it most. And we're also looking forward to building a recreational platform, where I always believe that when you look at Byrna's, what makes it great is it's like a 2-for-1, right? You get this incredible high tech self-defense weapon, but also you can have the convenience of practicing in your backyard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I always think, if you're having a boring, here's a pro tip for any boring barbecue: pull out the Byrna, put in some targets, start firing away, and I guarantee you smiles to be shared,
I have definitely
and
done
memories
that.
to be served.
I can second
Yeah.
that. That has definitely turned some around, that's for sure. So thanks for joining me, Luan, on this inaugural episode of Byrna's Hot Take. So guys, Byrna Nation, we want to hear what you want to hear about. So I want you guys to let us know what you'd love to see at a Byrna Hot Take. If there's a specific guest you'd like to see, some information you'd like, or something you'd just like us to talk about, or I'll give Luan a cigar and let him talk to you all about Byrna as a company, and we can do that too. Just let us know in the comments below what you'd like to hear about it. And then make sure you subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe here as well. It'll be hosted here. But then we're also in an audio version on all your favorite podcast platforms. So if it's Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, whatever it might be, make sure you subscribe to audio. You can listen to us on the drive. That way, we can be part of your commute as well. So thanks for joining us, Byrna Nation, and make sure that you do what it takes to be prepared to defend.